Hi guys, you're welcome to King Reality TV. I'm here again with another exciting video. In this video you're about to watch, the Labour Party and the APC spokesmen trade words on each other on internal wranglings within the party, and Chimamanda Adichie's open letter to Joe Biden, the President of the United States. Please like, share, comment and subscribe to our YouTube channel. God bless you.
Now joining me live in the studio to examine the crisis rocking the major political parties and Adichie's letter is Felix Moka. He's the APC National Publicity Secretary, Dixon Iregu of the Labour Party, and from our Lagos studio, we still have the Boris Oshoma, a public affairs analyst. Gentlemen, good to see you all and thanks for your time. Nigeria would like to see a country move forward and fast and do better. Now let's start off by asking the Labour Party. You are the new bride. Nigerians are excited about the Labour Party making that audacious presence in politics. Now, what's happening? How is it that you're pulling down your house so soon?
No. There is nothing like that. First of all, thank you for this opportunity and recognizing that the new bride, not just the new bride, the new beautiful bride, the direction that our nation ought to be going. Because we've had these two political parties, that is the APC and the PDP, held sway in this country for the past 24 years thereabout, and we know where we are. So same people, they either move from here to there, and then the nation continues to go down. And then, of course, we know what happened on the 25th of February, 2023, when we went out there, and the Nigerian people came out in mass to vote. And we saw that the umpire, in collusion with the ruling party, did what they did and announced in the middle of the night, like thieves in the night, announced at 4:10 a.m., which we've never seen in Nigeria, announced their so-called acclaimed winner. And since then, of course, we have seen APC continue to campaign, but campaign of calumny, putting confusion, of course, in different camps and all of that. What you see playing out in LP is the fifth columnist agenda against the people's mandate. They know that they didn't win election, and the attempt is to, from outside, infiltrate the camp of LP, which they couldn't.
Well,
the chairman of LP is still the chairman of LP.
Let me jump in
confusion
here and bring in Felix Moka. Apologies for butting in, because some of the key concerns, our reporters, we've been following this, and one of the things Labour Party, we'll still come back to Labour Party, is still not being able to tell the people is how is it that your party, Felix Moka, is the puppet master, pulling the strings and pulling down the building and structure of the Labour Party. How troublesome can your party be?
Utterly ridiculous for anyone to suggest that the APC, the All Progressives Congress, has any hand in the massive internal combustion going on in the Labour Party. Utterly ridiculous. We have no hand at all. As a matter of fact, I think that that has been clarified. The APC has been vindicated in the face of Mr. Bure's very baseless, senseless allegation that the APC was colluding with security agencies to invade and seize the Labour Party. Why would we do that? We're the ruling party, we have our headquarters. We're not concerned with the Labour Party and what goes on in its headquarters.
That's lovely.
Please, I didn't interrupt you when you were speaking, and please don't interrupt me. Now, point is that we're a political party. Our business is to compete and contest for power. We did in the last presidential election, and our candidate at that time, now president-elect, was, widely, massively voted for and declared winner of that election by the only agency that is authorized to oversee and make those decisions. Now, we're in a democracy. Any democracy is a preferred form of government, not because it's flawless, not because it's without pain. It is a democracy because it's a preferred form of government, preferred to other forms of government, including dictatorships that we experienced in this country. Now, in that same system of government, there are provisions made, legal provisions, constitutional provisions made for those who have grievances Because that system recognizes that when you do an election, invariably you will have people who are dissatisfied. But there's a place they go to, which the Labour Party and the PDP have gone to, and that is the court of law. Once you've done that, you must defer to these legitimate institutions, in a democracy, to adjudicate the issues and settle whatever dispute you brought before them. It doesn't lie in the mouth of anyone, not anyone for that matter, to say otherwise. The courts are seized of this matter, and I think we should all respect that system.
Okay, let me bring in Liberals. We got straight to Lagos, and Liberals, this time you'll be putting the cap, your legal cap, and speak to us of about the key concerns here. First, we have a party, the Labour Party, still right here with us in the studios, talking about the ruling APC making some kind of move to bring down its structure and cause some kind of trouble. And again, we also have this talk about what is already in the election tribunal. Make sense of what we can actually speak of and which we should avoid at this point in time, Ligoros.
Yeah, Sulai, I think what is playing out is just mere politics. It is not new in Nigeria. It's been recurrent, and so I didn't expect anything less. You see political parties having mole in them opponents' political parties, to either find out what's going on there or maybe to subvert positions, or so that's why they know. They already know themselves, and that's why that accusation is there. That's why they're accusing one another, and so they know this thing. So typical APC as an opposition party, you remember Alhaji Lai Mohammed those days, this was his forte. And so he would accuse PDP of any and everything. You remember also, in build up to the 2015 elections, there were a lot of accusations thrown by the APC at the PDP, and they are similar to what the Labour Party is also saying against the APC today. I've also listened to the back and forth about the Chimamanda Adichie's letter. If Chimamanda Adichie were not the person she is, nobody would complain about her letter. But that's politics at play. Chimamanda clearly supported the Labour Party candidate. The APC people are claiming that she's not being fair. She didn't expect to be fair. She's standing from a position, she's talking from a position, and what the APC ordinarily would have done if they had also lost the election. So that's why I tell you what is at play here is clear politics. And all of them, all the three major political parties, you see, what actually gives rise to this internal party crisis, a lack of constitution of the parties, and then the fact that there are no consequences for actions in political parties, this idea of jumpology also from one political party to another. All of these people in whether Labour, PDP or APC at one point or the other had belonged to all of these other political parties. So they understand themselves, and this is why at any position in some cases where some persons face their lord and master in the political parties, and so the laws, the laws of the party, their whims and caprices are detected, are taken as the laws of the political party. So when they lost out of any election, you're going to see either cross-carpeting, either accusations and counter-accusations. In 2015, we saw what the PDP also went through when people were expecting them to play the role of the opposition. It was like a house divided against itself. It was actually a house divided against itself. And build up to this election, we also saw it. Build up to this same election, we saw Labour Party, we saw some candidates in the Labour Party accusing the national leadership, and some of these persons also have pitched their intent with the APC today. So it is also, it will be not out of place for
all right, Liberals, let me jump in here quickly. I hope you can hear me, Liberals. If you can, apologies. Let me jump in here quickly, and I'll come back to the studios here. Liberals, now that we're talking about this, two great legal minds, from the continent, specifically Nigeria, Wole Soyinka and Chimamanda, less restricted. They've been in the news, and at this point in time, for the first time in the history of Nigeria, these people are getting the hit from Nigerians. What does this speak of this election, and how much of a division we have seen after the polls?
Yeah, quickly, Sula, you find out that in 2015 election, Nigerians had thought that we had seen the end of division. After the election, rather than, heal the wounds of division, the government did not do any of that. Rather, they drove the nail further down the cracks. And then build up to this election, it was a free-for-all fight. And it is not what we see and hear from people, really. It's not what democracy or election should be about. The situations where the moment you differ, your opinion differ from that of another political party, then you are insulted. Reasoning had taken flight. We see it was a tool used by the Buharists in 2014, 2015. Now it's a tool used by a lot of the obedient also. So it is, I think the APC are just getting their comeuppance from the obedient. What they fed the PDP with, and that is what the obedient is basically giving them today.
All right, Liber, thank you very much. Let me quickly bring this to the Labour Party and ask key concerns. Nigerians would like to know, at what point in time are we likely? Now you're seeking justice, and you also will also understand that Nigerians would also not want that to come at the expense of a destroyed nation.
We have been clear from day one. The candidate of our party has been very clear. That is Peter Gregory Obi has been very clear, both in his approach, campaigns, and all of that. And of course, it's all about Nigeria. But we saw the other parties, particularly the ruling party. We saw how disruptive they've been. When they were in the opposition, we saw how they engaged the then ruling party, the PDP. But unfortunately for them now, they are not even able to tolerate the same thing. Even though we're not as rancorous as they are, right, or how they were in 2014, 2015. We are people who are tired, people who are tired of the shenanigans of governance of both APC and PDP, as we have had before now. What we want is a better nation. Nigeria deserves better. How can it be that after 24 years of democracy in Nigeria, we still are campaigning with the same thing? We will give you water, we will give you light, the economy is in shambles, and the insecurity is terrible and all of that. Like stated, and it's a fact, Nigeria has never been this balkanized since civil war. Even up till now, you see the ruling class, the APC particularly, you see what they are doing, dividing Nigeria. They went out there in 2023 campaign with Muslim ticket, without considering that this nation, that there are Christians here, and there are Muslims here, and that there was a need to, at least for the interest of Nigeria, balance their ticket. We didn't see that. They don't care. All they want is capture power. They did that in 2014, 2015. They just wanted to capture power. What have they done for 8 years of capturing this power? Nothing. We have been taken backwards, very backwards, really. So the point is that
the point now is we're talking about, because at the risk of sounding as if we're still campaigning, let's speak.
No, we're not campaigning, but the fact is there, really, that APC is still campaigning. That's what it is. And we couldn't keep quiet when they stole the people's mandate, and yet still wanted to force it on us.
And Dixon, again, in moving forward,
yes.
Your party has two things to take care of. First, Nigerians and those who support the Labour Party will not be excited to see your party, go up in flames with some kind of crisis. What are you doing to resolve the crisis presently in the Labour Party? And before we start talking about fixing Nigeria,
take this to the bank. LP is together. No amount of infiltration can disrupt how focused and determined LP is.
So you're certain there is an infiltration?
Of course there is an infiltration. We know that the enemy is doing everything possible to put confusion, because they were shocked. The ruling party was very shocked to know that we had obedient members in their bedroom. There are members of the obedient movement in APC, and that's why even within their own camp, you can see them, of course, suspending, expelling, and all of that, because they got to know that, oh, really, that within their camp, that they still had people who were sympathetic towards this genuine direction that the obedient movement is headed. So just take this to the bank. LP is not disturbed at all. Yes, they have gone out to the public domain with all this attempt to disrupt and cause confusion and all of that. But haven't you seen the response? The Nigerian people who are members of LP have also, gone out there to take hold of the position of leadership in the party. So the party is intact and the leadership is focused. Yes, we're in court as they have directed that we should go to. And all that APC should have been doing right now, up till now, they have not even accepted the same direction they've given to us. Go to court and stop campaigning. Campaign is over.
Let's bring Felix Moka in.
Yeah?
And Felix Moka, we have a whole lot on the plate, and if we can do this in less time, the issue of your party is still being in the news. Speaking categorically, first, Nigerians are not too excited to see Lai Mohammed go out of Nigeria to speak abroad on some local matter, and they're also not too excited to hear Bayo Onanuga and some others in your party speak about the letter that Chimamanda had written. They say, well, it's none of your business. She can express herself. Why are you bothered about that letter?
Now, first of all, only a bad, terrible workman blames his tools. The Labour Party is obviously in tatters, and they're looking for scapegoats, people to blame for their own internal dysfunction. And APC is not available for that. Anyone can say what they wish, but if you think APC is involved in your internal crisis, this is a free country. Produce the evidence. It's not enough to give this sound bites that just signify nothing. A lot of sound and fury signifying nothing. If you believe that, then produce the evidence. Because you can't speak so audaciously about APC interfering in your internal affairs and still be unable to furnish even the slightest iota of evidence to support that allegation. Now, I just leave that as just the rants of people who want to make excuses. The fact of this matter is this: APC contested an election we won. People need to learn to, if you are not able to accept defeat, then contest it and let the system deal with it. That is as far as I will say about all of these matters. Now, coming to some of the letters that are flying around, especially the one by Chimamanda, I think it's actually akin to intellectual dishonesty for Chimamanda to be writing to the President of the United States of America, Joe Biden, and asking President Biden not to congratulate or recognize the incoming government of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Chimamanda lives in the United States of America. She works there. Her life is there. She was there when the election between Joe Biden and Donald Trump, the former president, occurred, and is keenly aware of the massive protests and claims of illegitimacy, or even that the election was stolen by the current president. She is aware of that. But Joe Biden was inaugurated on schedule, irrespective of the fact that the sitting president at that time, now the former president, challenged that election, didn't stop America from swearing Joe Biden, and that country has moved on. Now, why would Chimamanda approach a president whose own election was vigorously interrogated by the former president, by millions of Americans who even till today believe that Joe Biden didn't win that election? You go to him to ask him not to congratulate or recognize your own native country's election, in which an election took place, a winner was declared, and yes, people, candidates of other parties who contested, are challenging that election the same way that others challenge that of the president you're appealing to. My point is, this idea that everything about our country is completely nonsense, while those of the United States, I think it's a warped sense of, actually just, identity. And I think I'll counsel Chimamanda why she has every right to speak and to, express her views. She has every right in the world to do that. But I would just say that, look, don't be intellectually dishonest by elevating one problem that is akin to another and, making it trump the one that affects your own country.
Let's bring in Liberos. Liberos, if you can do this in 40 seconds, please. What's the way forward now with all the bickering amongst political parties and politicians and their members? What should we be looking forward to?
I will quickly say this. How long are we going to continue this bickering, this fight? We started in 2014. They've taken it a notch higher. Wole Soyinka has a right to express his opinion in what he observes. hurling insult at him will not change his opinion, his perception. The same way Chimamanda has a right. Joe Biden has congratulated the president-elect. Chimamanda is expressing an opinion on what she says, what she perceives. She has a right to do that. The president of America does not report to Chimamanda. So now bickering about whether Chimamanda wrote a letter or not, it's like insisting that democracy should prevail, and at the same time trying to stifle the voice of somebody who is airing their opinion. So I do not really see the need for all of this bickering on both sides. They've submitted to jurisdiction of the court, and the court has a process of going through these issues, and let this process begin. And at the end of the day, if those are proving irregularities, let them prove those irregularities,